Okay, this section is about linear inequalities. Okay, let's say there's an inequality. All right, x is less than or equal to b, but greater than or equal to a. Okay, so this means x is between a and b. Then the graph looks like this. Let's say a is smaller than b. So here's number line, and this is a, this is b. So x is, a number on the number line x. If the value is greater than a, so that way it goes to the right from a, and less than b, so goes left from b. So all the values between this a and b is the graph. How about the end point a and b? Okay, since there is equal sign, we can include this point a and include this point b. So this is the graph notation. Or you can write it like this. Here's a, here's b. X is between a and b, and both endpoints a and b are included. Then we can use brackets. So bracket means the endpoints a is included, and there's a bracket on b, so b is included. Equal sign. Just equal sign, then always use bracket, and then make a bold line between a and b. So this is the graph of the inequality x is greater than or equal to a and less than or equal to b. The notation is, okay, write the endpoints, smaller number first, comma, larger number. And then put bracket or parenthesis. Now a is included. The endpoint a is included, so we have to use bracket as well. And b was included, so put close bracket on the right side. How about this? Okay, now x is greater than, there's no equal sign, and less than b. Then the graph will be like this. Okay, a is less than b, so a first and then b later. Okay, now x is between a and b. Alright, so we can make a bold line between a and b. How about the end point? A, there's no equal sign on a, so we don't have to include a. Exclude a and b, because b does not have equal sign. Then we will use parenthesis. Instead of bracket, we will use parenthesis. So parenthesis means the end point is not included. So the notation, the interval notation. So the interval notation is, okay, a is not included, so use a parenthesis. B also is not included, use parenthesis. How about mixing equal sign and just inequality? How about this one? X is greater than or equal to a, but less than b. Then the graph notation is like this. A is included, so x is between a and b, so make it bold, make the line bold between a and b. And a is included, so use bracket on number a. And b, there's no equal sign on b, so use parenthesis. So this graph indicates that x is greater than or a, because there is a bracket, greater than or equal to, and less than b. There's no bracket. The b part, the number b has only parentheses, so there's no equal sign. How about the interval notation? A is included, so use a bracket. B is not included, so use parentheses. Okay, let's try another one, the other way around. So x is greater than a, but this time x is less than or equal to b. Then here is a and b. There's no equal sign on a, so use parentheses. there's equal sign on B, that means B is included, and make a bold between A and B. Then the interval notation is A is not included, so use the parenthesis. B is included, so use bracket. Okay, how about if x is greater than A? Then the graph will be, here's number A. X is greater, so we will highlight, make a bold right off the number A. So all the points right off this number A is greater than A. And there's equal sign, so we can use bracket on number A. So starting from A, for the interval notation, starting from A is included, so bracket, and going all the way to the right is unbounded. So the interval is unbounded, going all the way to the right, which is positive infinity, isn't it? Positive infinity. So we will use infinity notation, this. And there's no end point on the right side of the interval, so always use parentheses. Okay, this means infinity. Infinity. So for the infinity symbol, use this. So number 8. So write the number 8 horizontally. Okay, what if the inequality x is greater than A? Okay, same thing, the number line x, here's number A. X is greater, so write off the number A, going all the way to the right. And A is not included, so use parentheses. Then the interval notation is starting from A, not included, going all the way to the right. So use positive infinity symbol with parentheses. Okay, for infinity, always use parentheses. Don't use bracket. Let's try another one. How about x is less than or equal to b? Less than or equal to b. So based on the number b, x is less than, that means left of the number b. There's equal sign, so we must have bracket. Then the interval notation is, okay, all the way from left, negative infinity. So negative numbers, negative infinity up to b, and b is included. So look at this. The number on the right side is b, so we have to use bracket. The number on the left side is, we don't know, is going all the way to the infinity, and the symbol is negative, so we use negative infinity. And the infinity is always parentheses. Okay, let's try another one. How about x is less than b? X is less than b, do the same thing. Here's number b. X is less than b, so left of the number b, and b is not included, use parentheses. And the left side is infinity, but the sign is negative. So we can use starting from negative infinity all the way to b. And negative infinity is always parentheses. The number b is not included, so use parentheses. Okay, how about the entire line? Entire line. Then this will be negative infinity, from negative infinity to all the way to the right, which is positive infinity. Both ends is parentheses. Okay, now solve the inequality. Okay, inequality. When you solve an inequality, the solution is always interval. If it's an equation, then the solution is one of those three types: exact solution, no solution, or there are infinitely many solutions. But when you solve an inequality, the solution is always an interval. It may not have also a solution, but keep in mind that the solutions can be written in an interval. So just like solving equations. Okay, isolate x, so collect all the x terms on one side and move other terms, constant terms, to the other side. So in this case, we will get rid of plus 6, so subtract 6 from each side. Then x is less than 9 minus 6 is 3. So this is the solution. So we can write the solution in a interval notation. Okay, the graph is 3, x is less than 3, so all the way to the left from 3, and 3 is not included, so use parentheses. Then the interval notation is negative infinity to where? To 3, and 3 is not included. So this is the solution written in interval notation. This is the solution written in inequality notation. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try example 23. Okay, solve the linear inequality. And is this, okay, so let's solve this in linear inequality. There are two terms, two variable terms, one on left, one on the other side, on the right side. So let's get rid of 3x. So subtract 3x from each side. 4x minus 6 is less than or equal to, this one cancel out, positive 12. Move the constant term to the right, plus 6 each side. Then 4x is less than or equal to 18. And we can divide each side by 4. The positive number 4. Positive number 4, then x is less than or equal to, reduce 9 over 2. Here's a very important concept. When you divide or multiply the inequality, when you divide or multiply the inequality, by positive number, by a positive number, then there's no change in the inequality symbol. There's no change in inequality symbol. Okay. No change in the inequality symbol. Okay, but if you multiply or divide by negative number, by a negative number, then flip, then reverse. Okay, then reverse the inequality symbol. Inequality symbol. This is really, really important. Reverse the inequality symbol. Really, really important. So let's try an example. Okay, here it is. Negative 2x is less than 4. In order to solve this inequality, we have to divide the inequality by negative 2. Divide the inequality by negative 2. So I'm going to divide the left side of the inequality by negative 2, the right side of the inequality by negative 2. Then what do? Okay, flip. Reverse the direction of the inequality symbol. Make it less than. This is important. Then the left hand side is x is greater than negative 2. Okay, so whenever we divide or multiply inequality, each side of the inequality by a negative sign, negative number, then flip the symbol, reverse the direction of the inequality symbol. This is really, really important. Very important. Okay. I will give 5 stars on this one. You want to try another one? Okay, let's try another one. Let's try example 33. Negative 3/4 x is less than negative 6. Okay, in this case, we will multiply the inequality, each side of the inequality by the reciprocal of negative 3/4. Okay, let me rewrite it. So I'm going to multiply the left side of the inequality by negative 4/3, the reciprocal of this fraction, the coefficient of x. Also multiply negative 6 by the same fraction, negative 4/3. Then what do we do with the symbol? Flip. Then cancel out everything. The left side of the inequality is x. So x is greater than or greater than negative times negative is positive. 6/3 is 2. So negative 2 times negative 4. 2 times 4 is 8. This is the solution. The interval notation is x is greater than 8. So here is 8. X is greater than 8. Go all the way to the right, parenthesis. So interval notation will be 8 all the way to the right, positive infinity. Both parentheses. Infinity is always parentheses. The number 8 is not included, so use parentheses. Okay, this example is a double inequality. So there are two inequalities, and the center contains the variable x. Then how do we solve for this double inequality? Okay, that is, okay, first we will make the center will be only an x. So we will get rid of this -2 and then get rid of the coefficient of x, the 5. So in order to remove this -2, we will add 2 to all these 3 parts. So add 2 to the center, 2 to the right part, add 2 to the left side of the inequality. Then negative 7 plus 2 is negative 5, less than or equal to 5x. 8 plus 2 is 10. Now, the center is 5x. So we will divide all 3 sides by 5. All 3 sides by 5, so that the center will become only x. The right side, reduce the right side. 10/5 is 2. How about the left side? 5/5 is 1. So negative 1. So this is the solution. Then the interval notation is x is between negative 1 and 2. X is between negative 1 and 2. So starting from negative 1, there's equal sign. Use a bracket, comma. The right side is number 2. And 2 is not included, so use parentheses. So negative 1 to 2 is this is the interval notation, solution in interval notation. This is the solution written in on inequalities. Okay, if we graph this double inequality, okay, this means there are two inequalities. X is greater or equal to negative 1 and, okay, this is and x is less than 2. So this is the combination of these two inequalities. So when we graph it, the first one is x is greater than negative 1, greater than or equal to negative 1. So going all the way to the right. How about the second inequality? X is less than 2. There's no equal sign. So all the way to the left from number 2. Then combine these two. The conjunction is A, which means x has to be greater than this number and also less than 2, greater than negative 1 and less than 2. So it will be the intersection. The overlapped area is the solution. This area is the solution. So finally the graph will be x is greater than or equal to -1 and less than 2. So the intersection of these two graphs, the intersection of these two graphs is the solution because the conjunction is and. Okay, so this is the graph, and from this graph, this is the interval notation. Okay, then how about if we have a graph, the solution has, okay, one part is less than or equal to 2, and the other solution is greater than 4. Then we can write a solution like this. This means that any number on this region, on this interval, is a solution, or any number that is greater than 4, greater than or equal to 4, is also a solution. Then we can combine these two. X is less than 2. The right side is x is greater than 4. So x can be either in this region or either in this interval. So we can use the conjunction or. Instead of and, we have to use or. So x can be in this interval or in this interval. Then it is the solution. So we will use or, not and. So between a number a and b, between a number a and b, then we have to use and. X is greater than a and x is less than b. We gotta use both. We gotta use and in this case. But if the intervals are separated, then we gotta use or instead of and. Use or.